We took inspiration from a video we just recently did, and we upped the game so much that my mouth cannot stop watering. We're calling this Chile Colorado breakfast style. If you guys want to see this, here we go. All right, to get started, this recipe is an inspiration from a few months back when we went to Texas. On this channel, we posted breakfast in a duck blind on the Blackstone. On my other channel, Pellets and Pits, we posted Texas tacos. We felt like the recipe was so great that we wanted to do it for you guys, okay? So this recipe, although this is the Flat Top King channel, will be on Pellets and Pits because it's all about the Chile Colorado, okay? We'll have the link listed below. You guys can follow along. The reason why I'm so happy, the reason why I'm so excited, because it's food. This thing came out so good in Texas. We wanted to recreate it with an exact recipe. And after talking to Steven in the Duck Blind about after he had the tacos and all that stuff and we're building the layers of flavor, he's a culinary guy too. He loves food. And the more we started stacking ideas and flavors on top of each other, I think we've got a good one for you. Do you have to use a smoker today? Absolutely not. Use your oven. Use whatever piece of equipment you have. Today we got a simple chuck roast. On Pellets and Pits, we had a smoked prime rib, and I mentioned on there that we find ways to use the bones. So definitely smoke those, or don't smoke them, but definitely save them because that is a lot of flavor, a lot of meat. So this is the idea. We have a bone-in chuck roast, and we're gonna be able to season this up, smoke it, braise it, some fantastic flavors. Here's where it gets to, I'm excited. Johnny cakes, hoe cakes, whatever you want to call them. Stack that, shred that beef, put the sauce over top. Let's put a couple slices of avocado and an egg, a little cotija cheese. I think it should come out fantastic. This is my culinary going on right now. Let's go. First things first, the chuck roast. We're going to add just a little bit of W sauce as a binder. I had it thawing out overnight on a cookie sheet, cookie rack. Just allow all that moisture to escape from it. We've already drained it off. I don't know if I've ever introduced this to you, but this is what we call our like AP Texas rub. We'll have the list of ingredients listed below. Very simple to make at home.
So this recipe is great for the people that want to use their smoker and their griddle together.
And if they don't have the smoker, what's it called? Not pot roast. What's that thing that goes in? Crock pot. Great way to use your crock pot if you needed to. Don't use it quite enough, but we use it in Texas, and we're going to stick to that theme. I don't know if it was the key to the ingredients, but it was dang good. So we're just going to sprinkle this just a little bit on there. Maybe about a half a teaspoon per side. Just a quick note, I did not season the ribs. The backs of them have been seasoned, but with all the flavors on here and all the flavors we're going to inject later, not a big deal. I'm not worried about the salt and pepper and all that stuff. 225 is our temp. Internal temperature won't matter. We'll smoke it for about 3 to 4 hours. This is a big piece of meat. You can handle it. We're just going to close it and let it do its thing. And just like that, about 3 hours later, our meat is off the grill. Remember, it's about 225. So the ribs look absolutely fantastic. You know, honestly, I just turned the grill off at 3 hour mark, let it cool down. It's still calming down now. And this is what the meat came out like. And like I said, it doesn't matter the internal temperature. We're going to take it from here. Jealous about these beef ribs. To be honest with you, I might sneak a peek off camera. They look scrumptious. All right, before we get started on that meat, I'm just letting it cool down just a little bit. This is what we got. Some onion, some jalapeno, ancho peppers, and some guajillo peppers. We have some cumin, some chili powder. We use a thing called Mundo. Is that
Menudo?
Menudo? I don't know. Never even seen it in my side of that area. We tried it versus the chili powder. Chili powder, in my opinion, would be more accessible. And side by side, we liked it better. Substitute whatever you want to. Mexican oregano, the real thing. Let's see, paprika, garlic, and some lime. Got some beef stock. And let's get these vegetables charred on the griddle just really quick. Take the seeds out if you don't want the heat. Or the membrane, rather. Seeds are not the heat membrane. Don't kill me. Blackstone heated up a little bit. Woo, that's a lot of oil. Catch that with the onion. And we should be able to sear these vegetables off and get some nice char on them. I'm gonna show you on one of these seeds really quick. Just break off the tops, and you're just gonna take the seeds out from there. We got lucky on this one. This one's almost like a dry one. Not many seeds at all. And let me show you this one. This might have a little bit more. There we go. Yep, just get all the seeds out of there. It won't matter at all. But you just want the seeds out, and we'll be able to put this on the griddle, soften those up, and get some oils releasing these peppers. Just rotating the vessel around, just getting some nice char, as you can see there, looking really good. And then when they're done, we're just going to throw them into this big pot. Look at that. That's fantastic color and flavor. Add our peppers down. It doesn't take long. Just release some of the oils. You don't want to overdo this. Just releasing those oils very quickly in those peppers. Just makes them a little bit more pliable, as you can see there.
Now these are our leftover bones from our prime rib.
Just look at that fat in there. Look at that flavor. And that's been cooked twice.
Twice cooked.
Oh, yeah. In this recipe, the bones are completely optional. Like I said, in Texas, we made this with beef ribs. And since it already had the bones in there, I thought it was a great utilization for that leftover prime rib bone. You can just bone marrow and the bones in there if you wanted to. Or just omit it and just do your chuck roast. This chuck roast actually has a bone in it, so you're just looking for max flavor. And I'm just going to cut this up in large sections. Do not lose that flavor. To the pot, Mexican oregano, garlic, chili powder, paprika, cumin, the juice of 1 lime. Oh, that's a juicy one. Oh, that's a good one. Box of beef stock. If you notice, there's been no salt added at all. The stock is going to have sodium in it, and of course, our seasoning on the beef has sodium in it. And to that, we're just eyeballing. Depends on how big of a container you have, pot. It also depends on how much beef you're putting in there. Maybe just about halfway up the beef, so it shouldn't take much. Probably a little bit more than what we wanted. Right there is pretty good. I'm gonna cover this with aluminum foil, put it in the oven at 300, and we're gonna cook it for about 3 hours. It might have to go a little bit longer because this is a huge chuck roast compared to those beef ribs. We'll take it out in 3 hours, check it, see if it's pull apart tender. That's what we're looking for. Alrighty, it is the next day. We had a massive storm blow through yesterday. Not only did it hurt the lighting, the rain, the noise, the wind, but by the time it blew through and by the time the chuck roast got a chance to braise and shred, then we lost light. So it's the next day and we are going to get started. So these are our hoe cakes. We've made them actually a couple times in the past, many moons ago, and one of the ones that specifically come to mind is called the redneck tacos. Basically, the idea is a cornbread flapjack kind of thing. My granny used to make it growing up. Happy to do it. First up, dry ingredients. And as always, these recipes will be on theflattopking.com. You got your salt, your sugar, your baking powder, your baking soda, cornmeal, flour, and salt. Just give all those ingredients a mix before we add the wet. We have buttermilk and eggs, melted butter, and we're gonna mix all this together. Just be careful not to over mix it. You can mix this a little bit more than pancake mix, but you can add jalapenos, you can add cheese, you can add, onions, anything you want to. We're keeping it plain today. It's good right there. Let's set it to the side and mix up our onions and cilantro and lime. Speed up the process. We have some diced onion, some diced jalapeno, In Texas, we did not add the jalapeno, but I missed it, so we're adding it. A little bit of cilantro. Some lime juice. It's important to do this a little bit ahead of time, so that way all these ingredients have a chance to come together. The salt pulls out the moisture. The acidity from the lime helps break down the onions a little bit. It does taste better the longer it sits. Pinch of salt. Just mix this up and set to the side. Alrighty, this is our leftover stuff. We've already shredded it. Just gives you an idea. We kept it in there naked. We didn't add the sauce. You can add the sauce and let it do its thing overnight. The one thing you could have done, which is uniquely different the way we did it, I'm pretty sure typically on a Colorado style is more chunk. We chose the chuck roast route or the rib route and then just shredded it up. I don't know if it really matters that much if it does. I'm not here to upset anybody. It's just flavors. We're just trying to marry them together. So with that being said, let me show this trick right here before we get started. I use pans quite a bit because obviously we do a lot of stuff outside for you guys, so you guys can see the whole process. While your griddle's heating up, go ahead and throw your pans on. The problem is you don't want to overheat your pan, right? Pans can warp. You don't know how hot it is, yada, yada. Add some water in the bottom of your pan, as an insulator, and you basically just take it off, throw it away, whatever you want to do, and it gives you like a mental break of worrying or stressing how hot your pan is before you add anything, okay? So just coat the bottom with some water. As your griddle heats up, you can see that the water's right here. It'll eventually start to boil, but it gives you a good gauge about how hot your stuff is. That's important because you don't want to like ruin your pans. We found these in the store. We'll try them out for the first time. I'm gonna make this a little bit chefy today, just because, you know, that's where my passion kind of stemmed from, was how good it was out there. And I just wanted to up it a little bit. There was an idea that I had that if I was truly making this in the restaurant, how could I really up it up? And the one thing that came to mind was like a roasted corn puree, you know, like when you paint the plate and all that stuff, or do a dollop and spread it. Anyways, just gets my culinary juices flowing. So we're gonna make refried beans out of this.
Little shortcut.
Mm-hmm. We took all the ingredients, put it in a blender, added a little sauce, blended it up, and it should come out looking something like that. Just, I mean, this stuff is fantastic. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. Tons of depth of flavor. Me and the wife even talked about this would be a perfect base for a good style chili. So we're just going to warm some up. And we are actually going to vacuum seal the rest of it in individual portions. Maybe like a cup each, just because it's so good, I ain't getting rid of it. Add some of that beef down so we can start warming up. A little moisture. Just smashing the beans up, let it warm up in the skillet. You may have to add a little bit of water because a lot of moisture reduction because of surface area, but just get those mashed up, or you can keep them whole. It's not going to matter one way or the other. As that meat warms up, we're just add a little bit of that Colorado sauce to it. Infuse those flavors. Look at that dang goodness. I don't know how clear it is on the video, but that is dark, rich, smooth. So the one reason why I want to do the hoe cake is kind of like the paying homage to the idea of the Mexican theme. You know, a lot of times you do like masa or tamales or tortillas. And the hoe cake is just kind of like a different version of that in a way. You know, like everything connects somehow, some way. But with a cornmeal on the griddle, just trying to come up with unique ways to do it. Clean up a little bit. Ready to put the hoe cakes down. I got some bacon up here. 75% of it right now is about the reserved bacon we saved the other day, so just keep adding.
You can use any fat you want. I'd probably tend to stay away from butter. Butter has a tendency to burn, especially in the open areas that the cakes are not going to be. But I just thought the bacon fat would work well with it. It just seems like a good combination. You know, a lot of times we use bacon grease when we make cornbread. Treat them just like pancakes. Your griddle can run a little hotter. Typically with pancakes, we like 375. But if you want to go 425, 450, I don't think it's going to matter. Some of the little burnt, little crispy edges are going to help with flavor and texture. As soon as they hit that griddle, you can see it shoop, poof up. That's a good sign of a hoe cake or a pancake or anything. A lot of leveling in there, a lot of pockets.
Ooh, let me get the...
Just throw just a touch more of that bacon fat down. Just a touch of salt. I'd move the beans off the heat, and we're just warming those up right here for the last little part, just to get those hot. We're gonna build 2 of them. Little bean base and a little hoe cake, just right on top. Hit it with that Chile Colorado. A little bit of that warm sauce. Diced onion, cilantro, jalapeno. Come back in with a few slices of avocado. Alrighty, there we go. Some fantastic flavors, it looks like to me. Serve that up with a little salsa. We have some in the back. I don't even know how to begin this. Just right down the middle, maybe. It's all going to come apart anyways. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Can you see it?
Not really.
Can you see it? You can't see it?
Other one's in the
Can't
way.
see anything? Here, let's move it out. Oh, yeah. Layers of flavor. The whole idea with a bean, I was thinking more like a bean puree. You know, when you go to a fancy restaurant and they like smear it on the plate. And then I was thinking like you could do like like I said, like a roasted corn puree and then go like the other way. Just all kinds of fancy stuff.
All the flavors, taste buds go in every direction. It's our little charades.
A hair more sauce, some salsa for definitely some like acidity. It's got heat. You get a little bit of the crunch factor from the corn pancakes, the hoe cakes, which is exactly what I was looking for. It does represent in the back of your mind kind of like the idea of like a tamale, or what do you call another thing?
Arepas.
I know it's not that, but it just gives you that mouth. And then the eggs soft. This is fantastic.
Let me try a bite.
Remember when we went to Phoenix and we got the inspiration for the Southwestern
chicken fried steak.
Yes.
Oh,
They're called, everybody wants it.
they want some.
1-800 call, I want a piece.
Hang on, Mom. I gotta take a bite. Hang on.
That's all. Oh, yeah. Oh, she got it all in one bite. That mouth has got bigger and bigger over the years. Golly. We mentioned in the past, some recipes are easy, some recipes take a while to get there. And when it all comes together, it's hard to sit back and not appreciate really good food, and this is one of them. Yeah. Find us on
That's good.
Instagram. Find us on Facebook. There's a join button down below. It's a membership program. We thank each and every one of you for taking time for doing so. Last but not least, thanks for watching. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, pound the notification button, share with your friends. Peace.
Golly, that's good.
You know, you don't really get a lot of avocado, but when you do, like the creaminess kind of balances.
I agree. I want more of the sauce because it's so good.
Yeah.
But that is good.
Yeah, the sauce.
It's good with the hoe cakes. Good job, babe. Mom, you're missing a good one. I gotta talk to her.